Alright, my friends, I've got some very cool stuff to show you today. It's gonna help you make your samples sound more unique, more interesting. I'm pretty sure it's all stuff I have not shown on this channel yet, so yay, let's do it. And all these are gonna be very simple and easy tricks. So this is the first sample I got right here. It's called Victory. So there's a lot of cool little things I did in here, which you might not have noticed, but you'll notice once I talk about it, obviously. I mean, it's kind of just a given. First thing that you could do, and this just makes everything sound cohesive and just kind of just better, in my opinion. Literally just pick out one note if you have a chord progression and just repeat it the entire time. So for example, if we take out this note right here, give us a listen. I mean, it's all right, but it's not this. And you know, that just took like 1 second to do. The next thing to kind of touch on is just adding a contrast in your arrangement. So for example, these are just really ambient chords, and then it drops into this, which is just really dark, and then it kind of adds back on right here. It's almost like you're teleporting somewhere when that happens. And it's really easy to do. It's just when you're building out everything, when you arrange it, just start with something simple, then have it flip in. I don't know, for me as a listener, that's just satisfying as I didn't expect it. So another easy thing to do. Next thing from this sample, and then we're gonna move on to another one in a second. If we listen to this lead sound right here, specifically when it drops down right here, we almost kind of create a texture using these really short notes and then adding an effect. And you can use something like Portal for this. In this case, I'm using fragments to kind of create this effect on the fourth beat. Feels good. Just give this a listen. We'll do it without first. Just doesn't even sound cool. And then we throw this on here though. It's a little effect that kind of just smears things. You get those nice little textures. Sounds cool. All right, so this next sample is called Losing It All. Now for this sample specifically, there's a few things that I did here. All right, so the first trick, which is just ridiculously easy, it's another chord trick, and it's just at the end of your chords, if you just hit them once, it almost adds like a delay effect depending on the instrument you're using. We just listen to just one chord right here, let's take this off right here, versus it almost like leads into the other chord. So really simple and easy trick to use. All right, now this next thing is related to automation. Specifically, I'm doing it with an EQ. And if you listen here, it's gonna open up and the bass is gonna get a lot more distorted as it kind of moves on. And this just gives it an effect of like something is like building up and getting bigger. And then if you pair that with taking out the sound right here and to automate, so I probably should show you actually how to do it in FL. All you do is choose whatever effect you want. So in this case, this bass right here. So I want to affect this. So I just move it once and then you just go right here, right click, and then go to create an automation clip. And then something like this is gonna pop up and you'll just edit it so it sounds like this. And if you're doing it with a bass, I recommend having it slowly come up, but not having the big effect like drop in until you want it to. So let's give this a listen again. You're getting a little bit more of those higher frequencies. Now they just drop in right there. All right, making good time. What is next? All right, so next up we have a bit more of a vibey sample, I would say. And the main trick I want to show you here that's really helpful, again, we're using a lot of automation and whatnot. Let me let you guys listen to this one. It's called Morning. There's a few things that I did though. But the main tool I'm using here is just my voice. You don't have to be able to sing really well to do this or anything like that. You just use auto-tune, reverb, some more reverb, a little bit of delay, a filter to cut out some of the highs in your voice. Pretty much anyone can do this. And the reason why vocals are so great is because you can make any sound you want, really. Whatever you can think of in your head, you can just lay it down. And really the key here is layers. So if you look here, I've got a bunch of different vocal layers. Like one's gonna be me doing it more like a higher pitched voice, another's gonna be a lower pitched voice, and when you add them all together, and if you just stack, like if you stacked it like double this amount, it'll probably sound good as well. Just because if you think of a choir, like a school choir, you know, there's probably a few kids in there that you knew just did not sound well at all, but people couldn't really tell because there's just so many people singing at once that it usually sounds pretty good for the most part. And another trick that I want to touch on in here that's like super sick, and I don't know, it's dope, so I want to tell you about it. All right, so all you need to do is go to your master channel, basically turn it that way for the beginning of the song, right click to create an automation clip, and it's gonna look like this, and then you just have it go in the middle, and that just makes it sound way bigger because it goes from mono to not mono, and then you just get that big effect like you just heard. And it just sounds massive when it opens up. Fire. And also, if you happen to like these samples and a lot of the sounds I'm using here today, check out my multi-kit Lost Again, as all the samples are from that pack, and like I said, a good amount of the sounds as well used to create the samples. Okay, cool. All right, which one do we have next? All right, next sample we got is this one called Morning Haze. And that one's so simple. I don't know, you just feel it when you listen to it. First tip is, again, like all of these, super simple, and you can use this in like 1,000 different ways if you want to. Honestly, probably like 1 billion different ways with all the variations you can use. But right here I have these keys, and on their own they sound cool. If I take this effect off right here, give a listen. Sounds cool, but if we just add this right here, and all I am doing is using fragments again, there's a preset called Past Lives, and it doesn't really matter what you're using, just use some sort of effect that kind of, you know, messes things up a little bit, and then I'm just automating it just on a little sliver at the ends of each of these chords, and it makes it sound so much more interesting. And then the other thing I did here that I really like to do that's also super easy, right here we have these strummed chords right here, which sound really cool. But if you also just layer them using the same notes, but not strumming the chords or whatever, for this I'd recommend picking a more like ambient sound, so nothing like too sharp, because it kind of just sounds off usually, but you know, try whatever. And then as you can see, these are full length chords, while these ones are not. Let's move on. Is this the right one? I don't know. Damn it, it's the master. No, I don't know where it is. It's funny how literally 8 minutes of this video is just me looking for something. All right, here we go. All right, so this has been my favorite trick. I've made 2 songs doing this. This one on accident, because I was just trying to make a beat or whatever. But I was cooking up with my kit, Lost Again. And so I had this sample right here. you can do is you can sample yourself, which I'm sure you guys have seen before, but specifically if you chop your samples into really tiny pieces, I think right here, I did it like half a beat for each. We just go to this file right here. Any minute now, FL. Basically, as you can see, I just went in and made it really tiny little chops to everything, and then you'll get to turn it into something like this.
I don't like it here. I like to go somewhere.
Which I think sounds a lot cooler than before. If you want to see the cook-up, or if you just want to listen to the song, check it out here. Free sample in the description that you can download if you just need a free sample or whatever. And yeah, I'll see you later. Peace.